Hey there, Innovation Champions. Melissa Dinwiddie here. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is quietly killing innovation on your team. It's not a lack of ideas. It's not the wrong tools or the wrong people. It is the unspoken rule that everything has to be good before anyone sees it. So here's what I know about analytical, high-performing teams. They don't lack ideas. They lack permission to have bad ones. And that distinction is everything. So I want to tell you a story. Years ago, back when I was a professional visual artist, I had a daily studio practice. I would create something and then I would post it to Instagram, whether it was a finished piece or not. And I got to tell you, it was really uncomfortable. It was deeply, deeply uncomfortable. But it was really useful because it forced me to stop waiting for ready and start doing the work. So one day I painted something that I genuinely hated. I looked at it, I cringed, and I reminded myself the goal is to create, not to be brilliant. So I snapped a photo and I posted it with a mental note that I was going to be painting over it the next day. And I shared it to Instagram and I moved on. And within hours, someone sent me a DM asking how much it would cost to buy it. The piece that I wanted to trash, the one that I had already mentally consigned to the garbage heap, I was going to paint over it, remember, they wanted to buy it. Now, this was a genuine paradigm shift for me. It was a visceral reminder that crappy is really often in the eye of the beholder. And that the voice that was telling me, this is terrible, you should quit, it wasn't a quality control mechanism. It was fear wearing a very convincing disguise. So here is the reframe that I have carried with me ever since. When that inner critic, the voice inside your head, says, this is terrible, you should quit, that is actually the signal to keep going. Same with, this has been done before. Same with, who are you to do this thing? Those voices aren't protecting quality. They're protecting comfort. They're trying to keep you exactly where you are, inside that familiar boundary where nothing new and nothing risky can happen. I proved this to myself again when I wrote my first book, sitting right there, The Creative Sandbox Way. Every chapter I wrote, those same voices showed up. Every chapter, I had to make the same choice. Listen to them or ignore them and keep going. I kept going and the book got written. And I got to tell you, I have lost track of the number of readers who have contacted me to tell me that the book changed their lives. So I'm glad I kept going. But the voices didn't stop. I just stopped obeying them. So yeah, this is not just an artist's problem. When I shifted from my studio practice into working with corporate teams, I kind of expected to find a different dynamic. I didn't. What I found at Meta, at PMI, at organizations full of engineers and researchers and project managers, what I found was the exact same pattern, just dressed up in business casual. ideas that never made it out of someone's head because they weren't ready. Decks that got, polished for 3 weeks instead of tested in 3 days. Brainstorming sessions where people offered only the safest, most defensible version of their thinking. This is perfectionism. And in analytical environments, it is especially insidious because it doesn't feel like fear. It feels like discernment, like rigor, like exactly what you would expect from really smart, conscientious professionals. But the result is the same. Nothing moves. So let's talk about what actually unlocks teams. In my work with one particular research team, I've done a lot of work with research teams. This is a group of people who were, by their own description, deeply skeptical that any creativity workshop could be relevant to them. I ran an exercise from my Communicating for Influence program. And in this exercise, each participant practiced sharing a distilled version of their research with a room full of people playing wildly different roles. So we've got like kindergartner, Fortune 500 CEO, dentist, all these different roles. And the audience playing these different roles was encouraged to really inhabit these personas, to ask questions that person would really ask in a way that they would really ask them. And the volunteer had to respond in real time and iterate in real time, try something, notice that it wasn't landing and adjust and try again. And not every attempt worked. And that was the whole point. What I watched happen in that room was exactly what Make Crap is designed to produce. People discovering through direct experience that the first attempt doesn't have to be the right one. It just has to be the first one. And the learning happened in the iteration. The confidence grew through the doing. And the team that walked out was visibly different from the one that walked in. Here's what I want every senior leader watching this to understand. You can talk about psychological safety all you want. You can put "we celebrate failure" on the wall and in the all hands deck. But if your team doesn't actually believe that there's going to be no consequences for making something bad, and if they don't see real, tangible benefits for taking creative risks, they won't do it. Not really. They'll play it safe and nod along. The culture you want isn't built through declarations. It's built through demonstrated, repeated evidence that imperfection is genuinely okay here. And that means going first, sharing your own half-formed thinking, publicly naming when something you tried didn't work, rewarding the attempt, not just the outcome. It means Make Crap safe, not just in theory, but in practice. So here's something to try this week. This is experiment number 1 from Innovation at Work. The crappy first draft showcase. Here's how it works. Set a 10-minute timer and have each person on your team create a deliberately terrible first draft of a current work deliverable. It could be a slide, it could be a brief, a prototype, a wireframe, doesn't matter. Anything is fine. The goal is to make it intentionally bad. I'm serious. Incomplete thoughts, rough sketches, placeholder text. You might find that it's very challenging to make it deliberately bad. That is part of the fun of this. Then, after the timer goes off, celebrate the crappiness in a brief show and tell. And that is it. What you'll find when the goal is to make something bad, the pressure to be perfect evaporates. People actually start, they generate, they iterate. And often, not always, but often, something genuinely useful surfaces from the mess. Just like a painting someone wanted to buy that I almost painted over. Now, if you found this useful, try the crappy first draft showcase with your team this week and let me know in the comments what happened. I read everything, or shoot me an email or send me a DM on LinkedIn. And if you want 51 more experiments just like it, grab a copy of Innovation at Work. The link is in the description. If you lead a team that's been handed an innovation mandate but isn't sure where to start, let's talk. The link to book a free innovation strategy session is in the description. No pitch, just a real conversation about what's actually blocking your team. If this was useful, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I'll be back soon with practical tools for leaders who want innovation that actually sticks. Until next time, stay curious, stay playful, and keep creating the impossible. Ciao.